Well, good afternoon. It's our Sunday afternoon Bible story time. You know what, Chesley, it's me and it's Karen, and you know something, you get in that trunk and I thought you wasn't coming. I thought you forgot me. No, Chesley, I didn't forget you. Why would you ever think that? We always do Sunday afternoon Bible story time. I know it that you wasn't here, and I just Chesley, you're just sounding all upset, and I don't think you should be like that. In fact, this gospel train is chugging. I'm singing that. Well, Chesley, you've been fussing, so I didn't know if you wanted to sing or not. Well, you wasn't pulling the strings. Oh, that's right. And you're the voice of me. Yeah, I'm the voice of you. Okay, so I better get busy, and we need to do this together. All right. This gospel train is chugging a track. Chugging a track, it's chugging a track. This gospel train is chugging a track. Chugging to the glory land. Get on board this gospel train. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Get on board this gospel train. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, Chesley, anybody that wants to love the Lord and serve Him, you know, I tell you what, He's ready and welcomes you. That's right, He's ready and He welcomes us. He always wants more people to love Him and serve Him, and He wants to help them. That's right, He's always about helping people, helping others. He's always there for us because He loves us. He loves us. That's exactly right, Chesley. And so that's what we're talking about, and we're going to see Jesus. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Going to see Jesus. Yes, I am. Nothing to glory land. Get on board this gospel train. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's right, Chesley, because it's chugging up the track. We're on our way to the glory land. In the story today, I tell you, it's really important. This is out to dedication. Okay, we're going to talk about dedication. You know, sometimes parents dedicate their children. That's right. So they bring their children to church, and they say, I want to dedicate them to the Lord. And what does that word dedicate mean? Chesley, they want to set them apart. You know, listen from the other kids. Well, no, Chesley, they're saying what we want them to be dedicated or set apart, that they will always want to love the Lord, and they're saying that they're going to teach those children. No, so the parents have got something to do. That's right. You know, Chesley, sometimes I think some parents think and that the idea is you just come down there and you say, Lord, I'm dedicating my child, and they think that they don't have anything to do. Oh, yes, they do. They're going to be an example. That's right. They're to be a good example. But then I see some of them really aren't. And you know, all the time. Well, not all the time, but sometimes they have the idea this, if they dedicate their child, they just come down and have the preacher pray over them. That nothing will happen. I think that's what some of them think. But Chesley, the parents have a responsibility, and so they have to teach and to train and live the Lord. That's live the life before them. In fact, I knew some parents one time, and she said, we'd tell our children, if you don't see your mom and daddy do it or say it, then you don't. Oh, that's being a good example. That's Chesley, that's exactly what parents are to be, good examples. And so they're supposed to teach and to train. Well, we have a story today. And his name was Paul. First it was Saul. First it was Saul. And Chesley, you talk about somebody that was going the wrong way. He was dedicated or to do the wrong things. But you know, before it was over, I tell you what, and did God just knock you out? Well, we're going to get on to what happened to him. And I tell you what, he changed his dedication. He was dedicated from one person to another. Now, but Chesley, in our scripture, and it's going to be from Acts chapter 9, and it says, and the men who journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice that seemed no one. So he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what do you want me to do? Then the Lord said to him, arise and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do. That's Acts chapter 9 and 6 and 7. That's right, Chesley. Now this was something. He was so devoted. He was dedicated to taking out the Christian. You know, he didn't think he was the real. He thought they was just telling a wild story. He did. They did. He thought he did. He said, it's a wild story. These people are telling wild stories. He said, Jesus is not the Son of God. You know, that he was just so wrong that he didn't know it. And so he just thought he's doing God a favor. He did. He actually thought he was doing God a favor. And you know, he was mean. He was mean. And the Bible talks about how he was breathing out threatenings and murders. Oh, man, he was serious in that. Yes, he was serious about it. He thought, if I can just get the approval here, permission with the papers of authority, that I can have these people arrested. Oh, and put in prison and what are the little children? Well, the little children wouldn't have the parents there. It would be a horrible thing. But you know, Chesley, This went on, and he thought he was doing right. And when's God going to stop him? Well, here's what happened on the way. Now, he was going to get those letters of permission to the rest of those people and all kinds of mean things. It's just, I can't stand it. It makes me want to cry. Well, Chesley, you don't have to cry. You can turn around. It's okay. It's going to be all right. Well, on his way there, he was on this road to Damascus, and all of a sudden, you know how the bright light shines, and it knocked him down, and he heard this voice. He did, and it called out to him, and was saying to him, and they heard this voice. They didn't know what was, they just didn't know it was a voice. It was just like it was thundering. That this guy named Saul, his name was Saul at this time, before it was changed to Paul. And here as he heard this voice, I mean, he heard it, and he thought that this is scared to somebody dear than me. That's what he said. He said, this is a higher power. And he's called him, why are you doing this? It is hard for you to do it. This is an awful thing that you're doing. I think, and it knocked him down. Oh, the light was so bright, it knocked him down. Oh my, he didn't know what in the world, but he recognized this. He said, this is a higher power. He said, yes. He said, so that's wishing. He said, Lord, what do you want me to do? No, you know what I was saying? I think he's saying I'm going to dedicate. He was going to dedicate. What do you want me to do? Now, I think he knew he was going the wrong direction. He found right, he was going the wrong direction. And he said, who are you, Lord, and what do you want me to do? And how he said to him that I'm Jesus, that you have been persecuting. Well, he thought it was the people. He thought he was persecuting those people and doing the right thing for the Lord. But he found out he was actually going against, the Son of God. He was in very much trouble. He thought, yes, he probably thought, I'm in real serious trouble. But because what he said was, what will you have me to do? I think he was surrendering. That was surrendering. He was saying, I'm guilty. What do you want me to do? I'm going to change direction. That's exactly what he was going to do. And you know, Chesley, he became blind. Oh, now, who's going to help him? Did he get a seeing eye dog? No, Chesley, he didn't get a seeing eye dog. Actually, he was blind for just a few days. Oh, it was scary. It was scary, but you know what he did is the Lord spoke to him now, and you know now Saul, he's listening. Oh, he's gonna do the right thing because he's scared. Yes, he was scared he would do the wrong thing. He wanted to do the right thing now. Oh my! But you know the Lord was gonna have him set apart for a particular use, and that's what he told him. He had a use for him. And so the Apostle Paul, now he's just Saul, he's just given his life to the Lord. And in so many words, he was saying, I'm yours, Lord. What do you want me to do? That's exactly what he was saying. I'm yours. I'm dedicated to you. Set apart. What's that means? That word dedicated, set apart for service to you. Lord, it's whatever you want me to do. Now he said, what I do? And he said, well, I tell you what. Here's the direction that I have for you. He said, you go. And here he was to wait until told him where to go, and he stayed right there, and I mean he wasn't moving. He wasn't moving till he heard from the Lord. So what the Lord did, he spoke to one of his people that was faithful to him. His name was Ananias, and God chose him. He said, I have something for you to do. Said, I've chosen you that you can go and minister to Saul, this man Saul of Tarsus. No, he said, not me. I'm scared he's mean. I thought he'll take me and put me in prison. That he did think he could go to prison. He was really concerned. But you know, the Lord spoke to him, and he let him know, it's okay. He said, he is a chosen vessel unto me. That's exactly what he said to him. He's chosen. I have chosen him. No, he said he's dedicated. Right, he said, I've chosen him. And you know, Ananias might be saying, why did you choose him? That's might be what said. He's so mean. And he was telling him, he said, Lord, I've heard how bad he is. The things he changed. He didn't know what had happened on that road to Damascus. He was changed, and how that Ananias said, you go to him, and this is where he is. Said, you go to a street called Straight. Straight! Did you hear that? I heard that, Straight. Can you imagine the name of the street was Straight? And then, you know, Saul had been going the wrong direction. He was going crooked. He was going crooked. Can you imagine the name of the street was Straight? No, I don't think that just happened. I don't think it just happened either. Isn't that a good thing? And there he went, and this is where Saul was. That's where he'd been told to go. And now Ananias has come to him. I mean, and he began to, you know, at first I think he might have been trembling. Yeah, is this real? Is this a joke? It wasn't a joke. God knew his heart had changed. And what? And the Lord had told him. He said he's a brother now. He's a brother in the Lord to you. Oh, and he began to pray. He prayed for him, and he was no longer blind. Oh, no, it was wonderful. And then what they do? Oh, Chesley, it was a wonderful time. I think how that they were able to be blessed and work together and to think what God had done for him. Oh, it was a miracle. You know something? I think it was a blessing to get to be the man that told me. I think it was, Chesley. Yeah, I know it was a great thing that Ananias said, I've never had anything happen like this. Oh, and this man was dedicated. You know what? I think Ananias was dedicated to the Lord, or he would have rebelled. No, you can't be rebellious. That's sinful. That's right. It's very sinful to be rebellious. But he wasn't. He was scared, but when the Lord spoke, he knew it's the right thing to do, and it's going to work out. He worked out, and so what a wonderful thing. He said, go with him to the street called Straight, and inquire at the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus, for behold, he is praying. Oh, it's doing the right thing. You know what? You can't miss. You can't miss when we pray to the one true God. We love him and serve him. And you know, Chesley, now I tell you what I know about this deal is the apostle thought, you know, he changed his name. Yeah, he changed his name. And so here he is now, and he felt like, I am so small. He said, I've been so wrong, and now I just want to just be humble myself, and I just want, he didn't want to be the big it. He didn't, that's right, he didn't want to be the big it, but he wanted to do whatever the Lord wanted him to do, and the Lord, he was set apart for service to the Lord. That's what dedication means. He was dedicated, and he never did change. He just kept preaching the gospel. Wherever he went, he preached the gospel, and sometimes he got beat up. He did. Sometimes he got beat up. They probably was telling him, you need to change. You need to go back the way you used to be. No, not him. He had found the true life, living in Jesus, living for him and loving him and serving him. So, Chesley, that's what we want to do, is be devoted to the Lord. And that needs to be that set apart and dedicated, set apart for the service to the Lord. You know, today we attended a service at a church that their brand new church, and they said they were going to dedicate it. You know what they were going to call that church? I don't know. What's the name? Well, it was named. The name of the church was Bethel, but they said, yeah, it's a house of prayer. Oh, I think that's what. And so they dedicated it, and they said the name of this church, it was Bethel, but yet said it's a house of prayer. They wanted to know that it's always going to be used for the master. Always going to be used for the master. That's right, Chesley. So that's what, in the pastor, that's what he was dedicated. That's right, he was dedicated to do whatever the Lord wanted him to do, and all the time, not just at church. That's right, all the time, not just at church. And Chesley, that's important for all to know. Even children, yes, children, adults, everybody. Let's be dedicated to the Lord. A life of service, a life of service for the Lord. Oh my, the Apostle Paul was called upon to write the book. You know, these many letters that he wrote to the churches, and we have some of them today. How we appreciate them. You know, we have 1st and 2nd Corinthians, and we have Ephesians, and we have Colossians, and it's just a bunch of them. And I think he was dedicated. He was dedicated to the very last day. He was dedicated to the Lord. And we get to go see him in heaven someday. I'm looking forward to that. But right now, I'm looking forward to you going to bed. Ooh. What do you mean? Oh, it's time for you to go to bed. I think I should get some extra time. Well, why should you get some extra time? Because you was extra late. Well, Chesley, it's just one of those things. And, you know, my sister was here today, and we visited with her. I didn't get to see her. Well, Chesley, after we went and we had eaten, well, then she had to go home. And you should have brought her here to see me. Chesley, I'm sorry, and you're stalling. I know what this is about. You tell everybody goodbye, and you look forward to seeing them next week. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you next week, and I hope it's not so late. I love you. See you next time. This is me, Chesley, loving the girls and the boys and everyone else. That's right, Chesley. We love all the kids, and we're so happy that they can all be here. And Chesley, I found out today we have some parents that are listening with their children. I think that's a good thing. You know, and grandkids and all. Oh, Chesley, they have listened with their kids, their grandkids and all. And right now, it's time for you to go to bed. You know, we want to go. We don't fuss, Chesley. Okay, see you kids next week. You be sweet. I'll be sweet. Okay, you be sweet. Let's all be sweet and be dedicated, set apart for service to the Master.